Hello and welcome back to the channel. There is just one day left of Royal Ascot 2023, which means we're on to the final Royal Ascot daily podcast with Ross Millar and myself, Tom Collins. I hope you've enjoyed the content across the course of this week. We had a successful Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, not so much, but hopefully we'll pick up going into Saturday's racing. It also means there's one last chance for you guys to take advantage of SBK's fantastic offer this week. Bet £10 on horse racing multiples and you'll get a £5 free bet with SBK. That's for new and existing customers. You need to opt in to qualify, but everything's on the screen for you to look at right now. Ross, I'll come straight over to you. How have you enjoyed Royal Ascot this year? Have you really enjoyed it? Is it as good as Cheltenham, or have you not enjoyed it so much?
You're pushing it to say is it as good as Cheltenham, but I have really enjoyed it. And obviously, jumps, we make no secret on the podcast, is my main love. And when we're talking about festivals, we're talking about Cheltenham, which can be dominated by a very small number of jockeys, trainers and owners. And one of the enjoyable things for me has been that, Royal Ascot, lots of different jockeys getting on the board, lots of different owners and plenty of different trainers, which I think makes for exciting viewing. We obviously had the Royal winner, Desert Hero. That's always a good thing for Royal Ascot, and just some high class racing. And on top of all that, I've really enjoyed this year, feeling like I can really get involved in the discussion on social media and my Twitter as to where the track is quickest and why aren't jockeys riding on the quickest part of the track, which has baffled me every morning over my breakfast, and is something I'll miss on Sunday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 3 days, we went far side was quickest, near side was quickest, centre was quickest. The jockeys didn't want to go centre in the first race, the Norfolk on the third day. So, yeah, God knows about the going and what we'll get on Saturday, where the quickest part of the track will be. As you said, the Kings had a winner, which was fantastic on Thursday. No Wesley Ward winner. I think that's the only thing we were missing. His horses haven't really run very well at this meeting for the last few years now, since Campanelle last won. But we've still got a fair few races left at Royal Ascot. We're filming this on Friday morning, but you'll be seeing it going into Saturday rather than Friday. What has been your performance of the week, Ross?
Well, I think so far it has to be Mostadaf. I mean, I watched that back last night with a view to sort of trying to find a reason as to why the others perhaps were so well beaten, and I couldn't see one. I mean, you could maybe argue that Luxembourg was a bit softened up early by the American Raider, but I thought Adair and Bay Bridge had absolutely no excuse whatsoever, and it looks like Mostadaf is just a very, very good horse back over this trip on quick ground. I mean, he was a very impressive winner, and it does open up sort of a campaign for him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I thought Mostadaf was really impressive on Wednesday. Two other horses I'll give a shout out to in this category. Vauban on day one. Yes, he was extremely well treated, but I think he was given a great ride and he just bolted clear. And, there haven't been too many winning short price favourites this meeting. So the fact that Vauban went in the final race on Tuesday really helped punters, albeit Wednesday was a bit of a disaster for those punters. But I'm actually going to give my award to the most impressive performance to Jimi Hendrix in the Royal Hunt Cup. I thought his effort was fantastic. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th and 11th all came stand side. Jimi Hendrix went far side and still won. Massive performance and a good ride from Ross Ryan, who's had a nice week. Okay, let's go on to Saturday's racing then. We're going to preview two races from Saturday, the first of which is the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. Now, Australian challenger Artorias, who finished third in this event last year when he got a bit of a luckless passage under Jamie Spencer, heads the market currently at 130. Hong Kong's Wellington is second in the market at 6-1. Ryan Moore takes the ride there. Then you've got the likes of Highfield Princess, who finished second in the King's Stand on Tuesday. Ross, who do you like in this year's Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes?
Well, I have to confess, I know nothing about the Hong Kong Raider Wellington other than he shows plenty of boot.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. Yeah. I think Highfield Princess, looks like 6 furlongs is perhaps her trip. She was really coming back in the King's Stand the other day, but I still am just not convinced by her, and I know people are sort of quibble that. I don't think Artorias has got to improve an awful lot on his third placed effort last year to win this. By all accounts, have been doing a lot of work getting him out of the gate a little bit quicker and making a bit more use of him through the early part of the race. James McDonald obviously is arguably an upgrade on jockey bookings for all he can't knock Jamie Spencer. He's got a nice draw in 8 because that will hopefully give him chance to go wherever the ground is quickest on Saturday. So I do like him, but I think if you like him, you've got to cover that with Sacred for William Haggis. I fully admit that she's probably a better horse over 7 furlongs, but I think this will be run at a fast pace. She showed last year that she can just about hang on to their coattails at 6 furlongs. Obviously, William Haggis on the board now with Desert Hero, and I just thought at a much bigger price than Artorias, she's not got an awful lot to do to find that distance, and she was messed around a bit in the closing stages last year. So those two against the field, although I suppose Highfield Princess would be a really nice winner, given that she was perhaps a shade unlucky on the first day.
Yeah, she would write headlines, Highfield Princess, if she won this, coming back off the short break after running on Tuesday. I think Artorias is the solid option in the race, as you've covered there. Sacred's got that really high cruising speed and nice turn of foot. If they do go exceptionally hard up front, she could be the one that travels the best in the race. I'm going to give a shout out to another traveller, though, and that's Rohan, a horse I just love at Ascot. He's 4 from 6 at this venue, 2 from 2 at Royal Ascot, having won the Wokingham in 2021 and 2022. The strong early gallop will definitely suit him. It's just whether he's good enough in this grade, but I'm happy to take the chance at a double-figure price. We'll move on to the Jersey Stakes then, Ross, which has been won by Charlie Appleby and Godolphin for the last 2 years. They've got the third favourite this time around in Mysterious Night, but the market is all about Covey. The son of Frank was 5-2 and it's 8-1 bar. Is he too short though, given what he's achieved?
Yeah, I think he is, TC. I think he's a bit of a not a hype horse, but I think he's looked very impressive. But this is going to be by far and away his toughest test. And as we've seen all week, horses that can win by wide margins in weaker races don't necessarily translate that to the sort of cauldron it is Royal Ascot. I really like the Antarctic here. Full brother to Batash, who obviously was very speedy over 5, but having covered the juvenile division last year, I was desperate for him to go over 7 furlongs to the back end of the year. He's always finishing quick over 6 furlongs. Got really good form over 6 furlongs. Second in the middle park to Blackbeard, who was a really impressive 2-year-old. You know, we don't quite know what he would have done at 3 because he's gone straight off to stud. But I just thought Antarctic, yes, his pedigree suggests that this might stretch him. But when you watch his run start, I'd be very confident he'll get the 7 furlongs. I expect him to be delivered fairly late by Ryan Moore. He's riding absolutely out of his skin this week. And yeah, for me, it was Antarctic. I thought he was a decent price against a vulnerable favourite.
That's very interesting because we've generally sided over the last few weeks and actually months, we've sided quite a lot with the same horses. I feel like we're singing off the same hymn sheet a number of times, but I had an opposing view with the Antarctic in the fact that I didn't think he would stay the 7, just based on that effort last time where it looked like he was screaming out for the line over 6. But you know, I'll bow down to your superiority here. Hopefully he does stay the trip for your sake. I was quite keen to take him on personally, as well as Olivia Meralda, who is a filly, and no filly's won this race since 2012. I also don't like Mysterious Night, who has been fitted with a tongue tie off the layoff, has been gelded. It looks like they're looking for a way to make him better, which I don't generally like with short-priced horses. And Covey, like the highest rated horse he's beaten is 83 in his career. And he probably wasn't even an 83 horse at the time that Covey beat him. Last time out, he was very impressive, but they went a slow gallop. And the sectionals didn't really suggest that Covey was the best horse in the race. He didn't even clock the fastest final 3 furlongs, despite having the run of the race and crawling up front. So I've got to take him on at a short price. I'm actually going to side with Empfjar, who's second favourite at the time of doing this pod. He won a good Newmarket maiden first up last year. The second's won, the third's won, the fourth's won, the fifth's won, the sixth and the eighth have all won since. So that form looks pretty strong. Then he fairly hacked up on his reappearance. It wasn't a very good race, but it was over 2 seconds quicker than Division 2. So I think that can show you just how good Empfjar can be. But again, there's a lot of potential rather than proven form with him. Ross, you know the drill by now. Are there any other horses on the undercard on Saturday, without giving away your Napa Next Best, that you would like to mention?
Just a tentative one at a big price in what I think is a wide open Cheshire. I mean, the Aidan O'Brien filly at the top of the market, Pearls and Rubies, she's shown plenty of speed over 5 furlongs. If she stays this trip, which pedigree suggests she should do, then she is perhaps the one to beat. But just at a much bigger price, horse that finished third on debut at Windsor for Richard Fahey, Matnook. William Buick keeps the ride. He rode him at Windsor. He absolutely fell out the stalls and gave them probably the biggest head start I've seen one give this year. Was posted wide, came wide up the middle of Windsor when everything was coming up the stand side rail, stayed on really eye-catchingly under far from vigorous handling from William Buick. Once his chance of winning had gone, he settled to sort of educate him rather than really drill him out to the line. By Sea the Stars, so this step up in trip on a stiff track is definitely going to suit him. I thought he showed he had lots of class and looked like a really nice individual. He's around about 20 to 1, maybe even a bit bigger. And I thought he was overpriced in the Chesham. It's a wide open race if you take the favourite out of it.
Yeah, currently, as I say, we're recording this on Friday morning, so the price may not still be the same when you're watching it. But Matt Nick's currently 28 to 1 with SBK for the Chesham, so it's a big price there, Ross. I don't have any others I want to throw into the mix at this stage before Napa Next Best, so let's just move on to our best bets on Saturday. Ross, like usual during this week, you can go first.
So it comes in the 610, which I think I've focused on the 610 a lot this week. Stratum won this Queen Alexandra last year. I think he looks primed to do the same. Had a sort of pipe opening run at Leopardstown where he sort of ran over a mile in 6 furlong. Didn't look like he was sort of particularly put in the race to me. Willie Mullins has already landed a big prize this week. He tends to gear his sort of high class hurdlers that are perhaps just below top class. He doesn't tend to fuss with them too much through the winter. If he can find a big pot from on the flat, I think that's definitely the case with Stratum. I'm pretty certain his entire calendar year has been geared around this since he won last year. William Buick on board is a good booking, and I'd be disappointed if Stratum didn't win the finale on Saturday. And then my next best is Artorias in Queen Elizabeth II. I think he's got a lovely draw. I think he's improving with age. If he comes out the gate a little bit quicker, I think he can win this and make up for third place last year.
At the time of recording then, Stratum, Ross's Nap is around 9 to 4, but it's been extremely well backed and could be shorter when you're watching this. Artorias is about 4 to 1 in the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes. My Nap is going to be a simple one, really. I don't love anything on the Saturday card, but I just think Huckham is the most likely winner in the Hardwick at 420. He's a prolific winner, 10 victories from 16 starts in his career. He's won at this meeting before as well, courtesy of a romp in the 2020 King George V Stakes, and he looked better than ever when he overturned Desert Crown last time in the Brigadier Gerard. Unfortunately, Desert Crown obviously not been seen since due to injury. But I think Huckham's just going to take a big step forward from that display. And there was no fluke about the fact that he beat the Derby winner either. And then my next best is going to be a horse in similar colours. In fact, the exact same colours. And that is Emphjar in the jersey, as already mentioned. He's a good price, I think, given he boasts that high ceiling, the same high ceiling that Covey has. But Covey's 5 to 2 and Emphjar's 8 to 1. For connections who are desperate for a Royal Ascot winner this week. Now that brings us to the end of this mini-series. Please whack the like below if you've enjoyed it and subscribe so that you can see all of our future podcasts. Ross, myself and regular host Jess Stafford will be back next week to preview next Saturday's races. And a quick reminder that new and existing SBK users can get £5 in free bets when you place £10 on a horse racing multiple. Again, you need to opt in, otherwise you will not qualify for that offer. Thanks for a fantastic week, Ross. It's been a pretty difficult punting week, but hopefully Saturday will be exceptional for both of us. Have a great last day at Royal Ascot too, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.